What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, October 8th, 2019. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Twitch's own Bruce Greene.
Oh no!
Twitch superstar.
Do I work at Twitch?
I mean, that's you got to brand it. You know what I mean? You just got to put it out there. Twitch superstar. That's what it's all about. All right, thanks for coming back for another day.
Of course.
We worked you like a dog yesterday. I didn't know if you'd actually walk back you just fly home this morning. I'm out of here.
No, it was great. I almost flew home this morning because I was so tired.
Yeah.
But instead, you guys fed me a bunch of meat last night.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm powered up, ready to go.
Yeah. Jen's taking care of you as if
she
you
really
are our
is,
child. Yeah. You had her roast beef sandwiches last night, and then this morning the pumpkin pie overnight oats. So
well, yeah, it's basically stop me up and then push it through.
Exactly. So. That's how she knows what she's doing over there. We've taken care of Porty a long time. All right, we understand how to help an old man with digestive problems.
Wow, I'm so flattered.
No problem.
I'm up to the Porty standards.
You're right there. Today, ladies and gentlemen, it's a huge day. Let's not waste any time. We have more PlayStation 5 details for you. Blizzard has suspended a Hearthstone player after some Hong Kong comments, and Doom Eternal is delayed. We'll get into all of this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show. Patreon.com/kindafunnygames. You can give us your questions, comments, concerns, everything under the video game sun. Then tune in to watch us record the show live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. If you're watching live, you have a special job. Go to kindafunny.com/you're-wrong. Tell us what we screw up as we screw it up, so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, roosterteeth.com, and listening on podcast services around the globe. Housekeeping for you. We are headed to EGLX next weekend.
So we are.
It's you. It's me.
Yeah.
It's Andy.
That's right.
It's Nick, sadly. We're going to have a great time. We're doing, Kinda Funny's doing panels on the 19th and 20th. That's Saturday and Sunday. Do you know when yours are?
Mine are on Friday and Saturday.
Okay, cool. So we'll all be hanging out together, partying in Toronto.
Yeah.
If you're there, come on out and see us. Bruce Greene was on We Have Cool Friends yesterday. That is up right now, youtube.com/kindafunny, podcast services around the globe. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Blackjack and Mohammed. Today we're brought to you by Hims and Quip, but I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's start the show with what is and forever will be a jam-packed Roper Report. Time for some news. 5 items on the Roper Report, Barrett.
A baker's dozen.
Thank you, Barrett. I appreciate the energy you bring to the show as well. I don't tell them enough. You know what I mean?
You should tell them every day.
Here's my thing for you, Bruce.
What?
I want you. It's not a bad thing.
It looked like you surveyed me.
I did. It's because the problem is, I don't know if you've noticed, and you put on the jacket yesterday, so you kind of noticed. I'm a large individual.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's okay.
But I know you are too, though. You're no small fry.
That's true.
Can you do this thing with your chair where you see you get the hydraulics over there?
Would you want to go higher or
lower?
lower?
Yeah, because I feel like I'm towering over you, like you're my grandson. And I mean, there we go. There we go.
Because I noticed it was lower, but I was like, well, maybe this is a ploy to keep me lower than Greg.
Exactly. It's like it's
we gotta make him feel like a big man.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm a big boy. Number one on the Roper Report. It is officially called the PlayStation 5, and it is coming holiday 2020. We go.
I'm so excited to be here on this day.
Yeah, really? I can't wait for you just to shit on it.
I'm not going to shit on it, but the energy in the building is just. How many PS5s are you going to buy?
Oh my God,
7?
So many.
10?
Yeah. You never know how many we're going to get here. I like to have backups. All right, I like to make sure everything works just in case something goes down. This is Sony's own Jim Ryan over at the PlayStation blog, but I'm going to jump into a Wired report in the middle of it because I'm crazy. Since we originally unveiled our next generation console in April, we know that there's been a lot of excitement and interest in hearing more about what the future of games will bring. Today, I'm proud to share that our next generation console will be called PlayStation 5 and will be launching in time for holiday 2020. These updates may not be a huge surprise, but we wanted to confirm them for our PlayStation fans as we start to reveal additional details about our vision for the next generation. Wired Magazine covered these updates and more in a story that posted this morning.
I really appreciate that they wanted to give us the release date. And you're like, you know what? This is what it is.
Yeah.
We're not going to do a huge event or whatever. We'll just tell you.
Yeah, it's.
I appreciate that.
I want to get into that because this has been a weird rollout of.
It has been a weird rollout.
Not traditional PlayStation / video games. However, Jim in this blog post is going to go into the details of his more and what he's talking about there.
Yeah.
Bullet points from the Wired article, though, are this. Again, talking about that solid state drive that it'll be running on, explaining how that actually works and why it'll be faster
Yeah.
and, get rid of load times. and
Mark
stuff like
Cerny
that.
does a great job.
Mark Cerny, way too smart to have anything to do with video games, but here he is. And
That's true,
Mark Cerny is one of those rare people that when I read the quote from him, I read it, I can hear him saying it in my voice.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
He's got a very distinct voice and personality.
It's true. Physical games for the PlayStation 5 will use 100 gigabyte optical discs inserted into an optical drive that doubles as a 4K Blu-ray player. They started talking about how the UI for PlayStation 4 is pretty stagnant. It doesn't feel alive. They started saying they're going to do more of that, meaning, Cerny goes into a quote here, multiplayer game servers will provide the console with the set of joinable activities in real time. Single-player games will provide information like what missions you could do and what rewards you might receive for completing them. And all of those choices will be visible in the UI. As a player, you just jump right into whatever you like, end quote.
Cool.
They were talking about here, like right now, I'd see Kevin playing Borderlands, I'd see Bruce playing God of War, but it'd still be, to actually know what was going on, I'd have to join the games to see what was happening.
Watch.
More of it here, it'll be able, from a glance, be able to do it and understand if I want to join right in.
That's actually a lot of PC launchers do that right now. Sorry.
No, that's fine. We can put the bit aside for a little while.
Well, if you're looking at like a Fortnite game or an Apex game or whatever, it'll tell you how many people are left. It'll tell you how many minutes are into the game it is.
See, like right now on PlayStation, it will do that of like, Bruce is playing Fortnite and it's like 33 left, but it won't tell you like time or stuff like that. It's
what level you're on in a specific game.
They're talking very specifically, I think, as like across the board. This will be the standard. This is what it'll look like. Controllers are going to be USB-C. They're heavier than the DualShock 4, but lighter than an Xbox controller with batteries in it. This is because of how they're moving away from the DualShock stuff and using haptic feedback. But we'll get to that in a second. That's one of Jim's things. Then, this is right from the Wired article. While a number of studios already had their PlayStation 5 dev kits, the controller prototypes began rolling out much more recently, and no one is ready to name specific titles they're developing for the PlayStation 5. Here we go, everybody. Your ears, listen up for this one. Quote, "We're working on a big one right now," says Marco Thrush, president of Bluepoint Games, which most recently worked on last year's PlayStation 4 remake of Shadow of the Colossus. I'll let you figure out the rest.
So it's got to be Shadow of the Colossus.
No way. What, they're doing it again?
No, I mean, but like not on the remake, but I'm saying like a sequel.
Oh.
Ooh, that's where you're going?
He said a big one.
Idea.
I mean, we're
Colossus,
working on a big one
one.
right now. Oh, I'll let you figure out the
I don't
rest.
know. What do you think it is?
Hold on. Let's get through all this. I want to give you all the information here of this
All right,
buffet
all
of PlayStation news before we start tearing it apart like savages, like in Hotel California, right? Stab it with their steely knives, but they just can't kill the beast. I was thinking about Hotel California this morning. The more...
The fuck?
The more, this is back to Jim at the PlayStation blog, refers to something I'm quite excited about. A preview of the next controller that will ship with the PlayStation 5. One of our goals with the next generation is to deepen the feeling of immersion when you play games, and we had the opportunity with our new controller to reimagine how the sense of touch can add to that immersion. To that end, there are two key innovations with the PlayStation 5's new controller. First, we're adopting haptic feedback to replace the rumble technology found in controllers since the 5th generation of consoles. With haptics, you truly feel a broader range of feedback, so crashing into a wall in a race car feels much different than making a tackle on the football field. You can even get a sense for a variety of textures when running through fields of grass or plodding through mud. The second innovation is something we call adaptive triggers, which have been incorporated into the trigger buttons L2/R2. Developers can program the resistance of the triggers so that you feel the tactile sensation of drawing a bow and arrow or accelerating an off-road vehicle through rockier terrain. In combination with the haptics, this can produce a powerful experience that better simulates various actions. Game creators have started to receive early versions of the new controller, and we can't wait to see where their imagination goes with these new features at their disposal.
So was I right about the haptics in the Switch?
Correct. With their
Joy-Cons?
HD rumble and all that jazz.
That's kind of what I thought. So I assume that now the controller will have that feel of a Joy-Con if you're playing the Switch.
Sure, yeah. I think it's going to give you more precision, more stuff. Again, in the Wired article, when the reporter gets down there, he got to try a different thing, and he talks about like going through mud and like feeling that sensation, the resistance of sand of walking through that.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, no,
it really is
more
great.
immersion like that is cool, and I think it's what they need to go for, right? I think games are at such an interesting point where you remember growing up and it would be like NES to SNES, SNES to N64, right? Man, these are huge jumps.
Yeah.
And now we're into this thing where, don't get me wrong, PlayStation 4 looks better than PS3.
Yeah.
But it's not night and day, oh my God,
It's true.
right? And
It's
so even
not.
with PlayStation 5 and 4K and all this other jazz, in 8K and whatever, it's going to be ray tracing. When we get there and do it, it's going to be these incremental upgrades, but if they're doing it across the board on everything, That's exciting.
Speaking of which, Mark Cerny talked about ray tracing and said it will be hardware accelerated, not software
Right, not
accelerated.
software. That was such
Which I appreciate.
a nerdy drill down that I was like, I'm not even going to get into. But correct, yeah.
Well, I'm just glad he said it because I know a lot of people complained about. They were like, "Well, no, it has to be hardware. It can't be software." So, anyways,
Mark knows what to do, and
he does.
He addressed that right at the top. Right, that's where he's like,
Right
"Bam,
away,
here's how I'm going
yeah.
to get into it."
Yeah.
So Bruce,
where
does this leave all of you with PlayStation 5?
Well, this is going to be. So I've never owned a PlayStation.
What?
That's okay. Bruce?
What?
Bruce, it's okay.
I've never owned a PlayStation.
I didn't actually own a PlayStation until the PS4. I had a PS2 growing up, but that wasn't my PS2.
I didn't buy the PS2 because I was a Nintendo 64 kid.
And the PS3, a fucking failure.
PS3 was a failure.
Yeah.
$600. No one's ever going to touch it.
A Vita? Come
What?
on.
Vita's stupid.
Yeah.
Why would you ever buy a Vita?
They're not joking, Kevin. I also need paper towels. I did a spit take when you weren't looking.
PS4, I should have bought, and I'm probably going to end up buying for Death Stranding just because
nice. Okay.
I want to stream it. So now it's part of my business, right?
Sure, right off.
But it's a write-off. But I never bought a PS4 for fun. PS5, I'm excited to buy.
Yeah?
I'm excited to buy.
Look
Yes,
at that.
I'm excited to buy a
Finally.
PS5.
Yeah.
Especially because I will be able to stream games and stuff like that. So that I finally will be able to use it for for what it is, rather than just kind of looking at it as a second system. Because I was worried about. I just didn't want to have two consoles. I don't want to have two consoles in my house.
That's fair. No, I get it.
That seems excessive,
yes.
right? Because I've got a PC and then three consoles, Switch, Xbox, PS5. Come on.
But you missed so many good exclusives.
And
here's my thing: again,
I've never played God of War. I need to play God of War.
Let's put the bid aside for a second.
Okay,
again,
yeah.
But I mean, it's why I bought an Xbox One on day one, right? Is I just wanted to have everything covered. And granted, I guess it's different in terms of what you're looking for, and especially for us in terms of trying to be able to play everything, talk about everything.
Well, you guys are different than for Funhouse at me at the time. It was just more of we're just playing shitty old games on the PC.
Exactly. No, I get it.
And now it's become I'm more in the game space, so I'm excited to try everything, and especially I hadn't played God of War yet. I'm so sorry, Corey Barlog. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry about that.
Oh, okay. All right.
No,
well,
he's a
either
great
way, I'm
human
gonna play it.
being.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play. I'm
My
gonna
favorite
stream
game
it.
of all
Yeah.
time.
No, your favorite game of all time.
It usurped Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker.
Wow.
I think it's a
It's up
perfect
there, man.
experience.
I mean, I hear it's an amazing game, so I can't wait to play it.
Yeah,
And also
well-
shout out to Spider-Man. You should check out Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I actually got to play Spider-Man.
Ooh.
Yeah, I played Spider-Man for 3-4 hours, and it was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Ignacio Rojas writes in to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. He says, "What's cracking, Greg and Bruce? So we just got new information about the PlayStation 5. As we all know, this isn't the first information we've gotten about the console. Back in April, we learned about several features like backwards compatibility and an SSD. What do you guys think about the way Sony is handling the reveal of the PlayStation 5? By this point last generation, we knew nothing about the PlayStation 4 until that February event. Do you see them having a similar reveal event for the PlayStation 5, or is this just how we'll keep getting all the information? Anyways, as always, keep on dunking."
Keep it on Duncan.
Well, he didn't mean to. I don't think he needed to have the second.
He had
keep.
he had two keeps.
He has keeps. I like to edit on the fly with people, so that we don't mock them.
Well, I'm not mocking them at all. I was
You
just,
just
I thought
basically read between the lines. You just called him stupid.
Ignacio.
You know what
I thought that.
He sucks. I hate him.
Yeah. He deserves
I mean?
it.
Ignacio writes in all the time. We give him a lot of shit.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought he was just saying keep it on Duncan.
No, he wouldn't do that.
All right.
Because keep on Dunkin' is the line from Oreoration, our hit show. I'm sure you've seen them all.
I thought it was a thing
Yeah, I
from
saw it.
Dunkin'.
It's great.
I thought it was a thing from Dunkin' Donuts.
I thought it was keep
Barry?
on keeping on.
Shut up. Use the mic when I want you to, not when you think you should.
I'll do it whenever I want, Greg.
Yeah, he will.
You can't
He's
control
got a
me.
mic right there. It's right in front of him.
Ignacio, don't worry. They're still going to have an event.
They are going to have an event. Do you think? I mean, they plan this stuff out years in advance. Generally, why are they doing it this way?
It's a very interesting
Why?
question.
You,
It's a
I
very,
feel like
very
you've got some
interesting
insight on this that I don't.
I think it's the fact that they've seen Xbox get to run with the narrative. And I think that's included in been focused on cloud gaming to an extent.
Yeah.
But then also, when they were at E3, we're gonna here's what the Scarlett is, right? Here's all these different stats. We'll talk about it next year. I don't think PlayStation wants to exist where they're not in the conversation. I think they want to be in a conversation without actually making the big moves yet. I think it's really interesting that I don't know what Wired did to get all these exclusives.
Yeah.
We're going to keep going to Wired for these two, and it's fine. I mean, obviously the information gets disseminated, but it's this weird thing of, I think in some respect, PlayStation understands this is all they need to do, and if they do this, they do it without building up expectations.
Mm-hmm.
If they were to do hey, we have a state of play coming, it's going to be your first and I'm saying none of these articles happen.
Yeah.
Your first details in the PlayStation 5. And Sony came out on this PlayStation 5 and was like, SSD, the controllers got the feedback, blah, blah, but like there was no console to show. There was no controller to show because even the Wired guy is using a prototype he's talking about.
Right.
They're not even calling it the DualShock 5, which clearly you're going to just do it.
Yeah.
If you came out and put this into something you had built up, the internet's reaction would be, what a terrible state of play.
This is so
they didn't tell us
boring.
anything.
Yeah,
I don't care, yada, yada, yada.
Good call.
So they're
Yeah.
doing a very interesting and I think wise decision here of, here are all, and I use this loosely, but the boring details. Here are the things that when you read, if you care, you'll get excited about.
Right.
But if not, like, because this is a great example of it. Hey, guess what? It's PlayStation 5 and it's coming holiday 2020, confirmed. We'll talk to you later. But if you really care, here's where we're
Ray
talking about the hard
tracing,
drive,
yeah,
and here's
yeah,
ray
yeah.
tracing, and here's how sand feels when you walk through the.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
that's all cool and exciting, but that doesn't make for a good state of play, and
Yeah.
that doesn't make for a good build up. And even Xbox saw, I think, some blowback on how they did it in terms of like, we expect that commentators or whatever, people paying attention, were like, clearly this is how it's going to go.
Well, it didn't feel like much back, even at
exactly.
E3.
Exactly.
No, it didn't.
And so you keep doing this until like the event that will happen, Ignacio, will be, yep, hey, kind of funny, IGN, everybody, you're invited to New York for this thing on this day.
When does it happen?
See,
When do we get it?
I mean, I would say probably February, right? Like, I mean,
Okay.
That's what
All
they
right.
did for PlayStation 4 to reveal the box and everything, right?
Yeah, I remember.
feel like that's a great place to do it again here. The thing is that since they're doing all the boring details now, do they need to do an event that early? Because remember, it was, hey, here's the February event was, this is what PlayStation 4 looks like. No details in terms
Mm-hmm.
of, did they? Barrett, they revealed the box at that February event, right? Or was it just...
They did.
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Okay, just
watching
making
that,
sure.
yeah.
And then E3 was the one of, here's the price, here's real games, because February was more anchored in like, look at all the voxels we can draw,
Yeah.
and here's something out running on it. I could see them skipping a February event, but then again, are they doing an E3? Are they coming back to E3 and doing this, or are they going to say fuck it and May?
Do you think they are? I don't know that they are. I mean, like, if they withdrew from last year,
Yeah.
could they come back? I mean, I know they'd
they
be allowed
could.
to.
Yeah.
But I don't know
I
that.
don't think they need to. Is the other
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
And like what? Again, this is always the argument of we don't know behind closed doors. Are the state of plays doing exactly what they wanted, what they expected? You know what I mean? Because if they are, then why wouldn't you do a PlayStation 5 state of play?
Right.
And again, this speaks to what I don't know what have you thought of state of plays?
I mean, I
Have you paid
barely
attention?
watch them because I don't have a PlayStation.
Right.
Spit
right,
take.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I've caught up to it now. It is the idea, though, that with the state of plays, and since they got announced, where people are like, "Oh my God, they've been so weak. I'm like, I've been saying like, this is what they need to do, because if they want to do this consistently, they know they can't have a home run every time.
Well, it's
so
like Nintendo Directs.
exactly,
Yeah.
here's how it's going to be. But that doesn't exclude them from coming out and saying, "Hey, here it is. This is the PlayStation 5. Let's just show you how it works."
Right.
And it's all about the next gen PlayStation 5 and get a gajillion views on it as you go.
Yeah.
It's a really fascinating way they're doing this.
It
Why
is.
they're doing it, I think it's just the industry's changed. I think they want to be in this conversation. I think they want to. I think right now people are today super excited for this information. Right? Everybody's talking about it, tweeting about it, doing all this thing, making a lot of jokes of like, "Oh man, PlayStation 5, what a bold name."
Yeah,
Oh, for holiday 2020, didn't see it coming. But again, that's still a more positive reaction than I think it would have been if they did a state of play. They did some big blowout, come watch us here, and then it was just talking.
That's what Sony and Nintendo, I think, are trying to avoid, is all the negative blowback. Me personally, I thought that the last time, so Sony was not at E3 last year, but the year before,
Yeah.
with the whole like man playing the flute and the whole deal.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that a lot of executives were like, well, number one, why are we spending so much money at E3? And number two, we don't need to absorb any of this negative feedback.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, instead, we'll just give you details here and there, and we'll do our own event. It'll just be like Nintendo Directs, and then no one will make fun of us. And that's what it felt like to me. So that's why I think they're kind of doing it this way, because they don't want to get made fun of.
AJ and a whole bunch of other people in there do correct me and Barrett that it was actually not, the box wasn't revealed until
It wasn't.
E3.
Oh.
It was just, hey, here's what the power of the PlayStation 4 is with the
I
February
thought for
event.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
whatever. I mean, it all blurs together.
Yeah.
I'm the worst at that kind of crap, where people are like, I know it all, and I remember living it and covering it, but it's
But
all
yeah, but
one
that's-
giant,
that's-
like, when was it? What happened? I don't know. MultiCallum writes in to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and says, with today's Wired article about the PlayStation 5, what are your thoughts on Bluepoint teasing a new game? Quote, we're working on a pretty big one right now. made me assume it'll be a known IP. But could this be the first original game from Bluepoint we've been waiting for? Or do you expect another remake a la Shadow of the Colossus?
Didn't they tease that they were doing something big like a year or two ago? Like this wasn't like people were freaking out about this today, but I remember like being at IGN and it was soon after the Shadow of the Colossus remake came out, and they had like already started teasing something. So this like them talking
I think
about
they've talked about working on other stuff, and I think in some interview,
but like they
kindoffunny.com/wrong,
they
said,
teased it something similar to this of like our next project is a big one. Like they keep hammering on this big point. So yeah. Bruce might not be wrong. Shadow of the Colossus.
Guys.
You think they're making Shadow of the Colossus 2, Barrett? Bruce.
Why wouldn't they?
Because that's why nobody's out there saying, you know what, I need to make Citizen Kane 2 right now. All right, that game has gone beyond mythical levels.
But they also got a remake. I mean, it got a remake, and I assume it sold well. So
sure it did. Yeah.
Why not make a second one?
Because the counter argument would be the developer that made that game is still around, right? They recently made that one kind of okay game a couple years ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Last Guardian.
Yeah, so they're still kind of around. So if there was a Shadow of the Colossus,
and that's the thing is, I think you look at that creator and you expect him to be a part of it, right?
Yeah,
that's true.
I think personally, I think that they're working on another remake of something.
Oh.
I know everybody sits around and is always like, man, I'd love to see Bluepoint do something original. I think they've made a reputation and a business on going back and bringing current or classic games into a new generation.
So do an original IP, yeah.
And so I think that it wouldn't be silly for them to create their own games. God bless them, go do it. But it would be really weird for Bluepoint, I feel, to come out and be like, we're working on something, and it's big. And then it's like, it's our own game. Oh, well.
That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, like, you understand, you guys pay attention to the industry, right? Like, if you say you're working on something big, nobody's thinking it's an original project. It could obviously be, it's a big game. Right. It's huge in scope. But, like, why would you get out in front of it and promote it that way?
So then what are they going to remake?
God, I don't know.
The big theory is Demon Souls.
I haven't heard that theory.
Wow. And then the other thought that I just had is like maybe they're teasing this big game. Like maybe it's not a remake, but maybe they are what's the word? Not rebranded, but they're going back to an older IP and giving their own take with it. Maybe it's like a new game, but for an older IP.
AJ Shank in the You're Wrong says, per IGN in March of 2018, Bluepoint Games' next project is a remake bigger than Shadow of the Colossus. With regards to Bluepoint's next game, Thrush teased, we're really excited about the next project, and we think you will be too when you find out what it is.
Cool.
So it's
it
a
is
remake.
So I'm not
bigger
crazy.
than Shadow. No, you're not crazy. Good job. Here's what I'm going to float out there. And again, am I just pontificating and daydreaming here? Probably. But we know going forward, the earth is salted. But could we go backwards? Could Bluepoint be doing a reimagining of Metal Gear or Metal Gear Solid?
No way.
Do you think Konami would actually like?
100%. Konami's like, oh, I'm sorry. We know that we are literally Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Anything with our logo on it is radioactive, and no one will touch or give a chance. But if Sony was like, we have partnered with Konami to take even phrased that way. We've taken the license for them this game.
Konami would get money from it, I assume, right?
Oh yeah, they're gonna get a lot of money.
There you go.
And so we're putting it in the hands of trusted developer Bluepoint, and that's why I even say go with Metal Gear, where you take the NES or the MGX, whatever the hell game it was originally, but anyway, we all know it as an NES game. Take that and reimagine that as like, here it is, Solid Snake infiltrating outer heaven, right?
That would be a big one.
That would be incredible. And here's where I know I'm nutty. I'm pontificating and daydreaming out here.
Maybe it's just what you want, Greg.
Also true. But imagine if, since they're working so close on Death Stranding, Kojima gets to be there, not to be a part of it, but to be a part of like, I'm okay with this, guys. This is the best way.
Is this just your dream? This is just your dream.
I'm just telling you the way certain things have lined up in this industry, that this is a possibility.
Okay. All right.
Just putting it out there.
We'll see.
We will see.
I got to ask Greg what he actually knows after the show now.
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
I assure you, this is not based on any inside information.
All right.
Do you have anything you'd want to see them work on?
I mean, no. You have the insight on this one more than I do, and that's why I like Shadow of Colossus. Since the remake did so well, that's why I was like, well, maybe they're making a sequel. But if it's a remake, whatever.
Alex writes in to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and says, hey there, KFGD crew. It's official. PlayStation 5 is coming Q4 2020. So now that we know what the launch window is lining up with the holiday of next year, what do you think the launch lineup looks like? I still think we're too far away for Ghost of Tsushima to have a dual console launch, and too soon for sequels of God of War or Spider-Man. But Horizon 2 feels just right. What about third party? Could the next Batman or whatever Rocksteady is working on secretly be next-gen launch games? A guy can dream. Also, what does this, we already talked about this, E3 plans, who the hell knows?
Oh, yeah.
I still think they can skip it. I still think they might.
I think
PlayStation's getting pretty addicted to being the only game in town. Random ass Tuesday, we did this. Here's what PlayStation 5's all about.
I think I could see them do a state of play, not like in the same week of E3, but more
around
closer,
it.
like around it.
I think
and
May.
stuff.
You put it at the
Yeah.
end of May, right before E3. Get out
Yeah.
there and really crush everybody.
There you go.
Who knows?
How about that?
I'm Iron Man. Horizon 2 is a good feel.
You don't think Tsushima's going to be out by then?
Oh, no.
I mean, Alex.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing is a lot of people I saw quoting this. I didn't realize this was still so hotly debated that so many people would tweet about it. The end of Jim Ryan's post, which I didn't read because I was focused on the PlayStation 5 stuff, basically says, but don't worry, PlayStation 4 gamers, still a lot of great stuff to come, including Death Stranding, including Last of Us Part 2, and Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and since the PlayStation 5 is backwards compatible, I don't think you need to worry about it. I see Ghost being... I'm trying to run through the first parties in my head, right? I think Ghost is going to be pretty much its God of War 2. Where if you remember, PlayStation 3 was on the market, God of War 2 still was a PlayStation 2 exclusive.
Oh.
And it was very much like, see you later. This is like the
yeah,
last
yeah,
big
yeah.
game you have for your PS2.
Yeah.
And I'm granted, will Ghost of Tsushima perform that well? You know, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to do really well. I think it's going to be an awesome game based on Sucker Punch's track record, but I'm not too worried about that.
Well,
In terms of a launch lineup, though.
It's going to be whatever Bluepoint's working on.
Yeah,
That's gonna
that
be in
does
there
sound like it.
somewhere.
That was what was interesting too. The Wired article had Bluepoint quotes in there. They had EA quotes in there. Maybe somebody else. I'd have to look at it, but that gives you a hint of who's working on stuff.
Yeah.
And then
As far as Batman stuff,
where do you think Rocksteady and the WB stuff?
my take is like last time WB Montreal worked on a Batman game, right? It was really to hold people over until Rocksteady could release their next big title.
Yeah.
And that Arkham Origins came out pretty much at the end of the PS3, Xbox 360 life cycle, and then Arkham Knight was the next big game on the next gen platforms and stuff. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something similar here.
Really?
We know WB Montreal is teasing something and they're doing something soon, whether that's in the next couple weeks, whether that's in the next 3 or 4 months. Like they've got to be announcing something, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an announcement for a game of theirs coming out before next gen, which again doesn't really matter because
before next gen.
Yeah, before next gen, which we know doesn't really matter because the whole backwards compatibility thing, at least with PS4, PS5.
But I feel like they're going to hold on to that stuff if they want, because you want a really big launch, right? So wouldn't they hold on to that for the launch?
I think what they're planning, I don't know if they want to do launch window, but maybe within the launch year or two, WB Montreal ends the life cycle of the PS4 and Xbox One, and then Rocksteady comes out like the next year and like, hey, here's our next big game. Whether it's Batman related, whether it's something else related, that is how they played it before, and I wouldn't be surprised to have them play that again. Similarly.
So you're saying, I know these are loose, obviously.
Yeah.
You're saying
This is
WB
all
Montreal's
speculation.
Batman game is either 2019 or 2020.
Definitely 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you'd think that Rocksteady's 2021.
2021 or 2022.
Gotcha. Jesus,
Yeah.
that's a
But
long
we
time.
get a trailer for it at the PlayStation 5 launch event, like
For Rocksteady?
for the Rocksteady game. Yeah. Because
You want to step on the toes of it. If Montreal's next,
already in
if
the
it's the next in the
thing.
chamber and it's not out yet, you don't have to
Well,
promote it.
yes, that's what I mean. So that's why I'm saying, like, I feel like Montreal then gives us something for launch of PS5. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be, that would be weird if they dropped it in the middle and they're like, okay, well, this game comes out in May, but then the PS5's out. Like, I don't know. That would be odd.
But that's how they did Arkham Origins.
The other thing we have to
remember.
the other thing we have to go back to, and I know it's not exactly the same.
Mm.
Well, the rumor, right, is WB is working on Batman.
Right.
Rocksteady is not working on a Batman game.
Right.
So I mean, like, we are splitting hair. Now, granted, we've heard comic book games before. It seems like Suicide Squad's the going rumor. I refuse to get excited. I refuse to get
really?
excited.
Suicide Squad?
Yeah,
Oh,
DC
boy.
games in general. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Well, when it was Ninja Turtles was the rumor for a while. It was like, meh. When the
Really?
rumor
That
was
would have been cool as fuck.
when the rumor was that weird Damian Batman game that wasn't actually a Batman, I was like, meh. Suicide Squad rumor, like, oh, okay, whatever.
Still weird.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, like, that's not the exact. I mean, same universe it goes back to what I've said before. Like, is WB Montreal's game going to be a drastically different visual style?
Right.
And if so, then okay, cool. Now these can coexist if Rocksteady still looks like if they're whatever their next game, comic book game is. And I'm trying to not get excited about anything. Whatever. Like, I'm still holding out for hope for a Superman game. Everybody.
It's
Maybe
not
a Justice
happening.
League.
Superman
Remember the
game.
Justice
It's
League
not-
rumors too?
It's
Too
not
many goddamn
happening.
rumors around here.
I don't
It's
know.
not-
It's gonna
you
be
can't make a good
Superman
Superman
game.
It's not going to be a Superman game. I'm aware. Okay, I'm aware. I'm aware that I've dreamed. I flew too close to the sun. Anyways, though, even if Rocksteady's next game doesn't look like the beefy Batman game,
Right.
then I think you have these things can coexist.
Yeah.
Because look at how many Marvel games are coming out all at once.
It's
and they're promoting
true.
all the time.
What if? Okay, all right. Now I'm just thinking about WB in general, not just DC related, all that stuff. Like of course, we've got whatever Montreal's working on, Rocksteady, but then we had that leaked motherfucking Harry Potter game last year, Bruce. You remember that?
Yeah.
What if around launch lineup announcement kind of stuff for PS5?
That
maybe
makes more
we finally
sense.
get like a reveal of that Harry Potter game.
Because I mean, right now, do we know the games that are going to come out for launch for PS5?
No.
Holiday 2020. Do you have any idea other than maybe Horizon?
There will be a Call of Duty. And there will be a Madden.
Right.
There will maybe be a Battlefield.
But first parties we don't know, right?
No.
That's a good guess. Because it was a year ago we saw that Harry Potter game.
But again, that's not first party. That's the other thing we're doing.
No, it's not first party.
Yeah,
but
okay,
it might
sure.
be a launch title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if they don't have very many first parties for launch, because they've got they got God of War's already blown its load and all that other stuff. But like Harry Potter might be in the launch of PS5.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. That would be a good get for like marketing.
That is a good get. Yeah.
It's just a matter of who's making it. My money, Monolith. But we'll see.
The problem with all that is just like, I guess it's not a problem because you guys Arkham Knight was still. That was year 2 of
That was
PS4?
2015. The PS4 came out.
2014.
2014. Yeah.
Wait, no.
2013.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. Solidly at IGN. Yeah.
It was supposed to be 2014, and then it got delayed a year.
Because WB is going to want to make their money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Being a launch game is great. It's great to be the top-selling launch game. That's not the same as being installed on the, 90 million PS4s now? Is it 100 million already?
Well, that's what I mean.
If only I had the chalkboard paint. You know?
I mean, Barrett's right about Rocksteady pushing to 2022 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. But I feel like Montreal's got to hold on. I still don't know what launch games they're going to have. It doesn't sound like they're going to have very many. Tsushima, Horizon 2.
Well, I mean, Tsushima's going to be PS4
Yeah,
for sure.
That's right.
Horizon 2.
But it's also the thing is, like, as PlayStation's shown time and time again, you don't need first party. Or at least, I shouldn't say time and time again. With PlayStation 4, they're like, we don't need first party
That's
to
true.
come
You
out
just
and
need
knock it out of the
big-
gate.
Well,
Oh,
so that-
also, Spider-Man 2 is probably within the launch year, I would
No way.
guess. No way?
No way.
They have
Spider-Man
to
2
do
was last year.
Yeah.
Or Spider-Man, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Spider-Man was last year.
So that was 2018. You don't see a Spider-Man game coming out in 2021. They have to remake New York.
2021?
Yeah, remake New York again. New story. Like
I think it's very
that's
much-
a 3-year turnover.
I think
don't
it's very
that's-
similar to my Last of Us thing from back then. Everybody will try to make me eat crow when it actually gets announced for 2021. Will it ship in 2021?
Yeah,
Different
yeah,
story.
yeah.
Different story, Barrett.
I see them turning around a Spider-Man game.
God,
that quickly.
God, I hope they do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get in your face about it. I hope they do.
Yeah.
I hope that's what happens.
Again, I'm not saying launch window. I'm saying like launch year.
Horizon 2 seems like your best bet for getting something from
Launch
somebody
window,
at launch.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like it's the same thing as always, where you don't want to rush these people.
What was PS4's launch lineup?
DC Universe Online, I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Call of Duty,
Knack.
Ghosts, right? Yeah.
Those came out, yeah.
Knack.
They had Madden 25.
Knack.
It was supposed to be Infamous, but it slipped.
Don't
Infamous
ignore my
happened.
knack.
Huh?
Don't ignore my knack.
I was forgetting about Knack.
Oh, yeah, Knack.
Yeah.
They
But
had
it-
Lego
it-
Marvel Superheroes.
Second Son was still kind of window-ish.
It was
right?
window-ish,
Yeah,
yes, but it
yeah.
slipped from where it was supposed to be.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so you're right though, because PS4.
Ooh. Killzone Shadowfall, another Guerrilla game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
What are they working on?
Horizon 2, you assume?
Yeah.
And actually confirmed by Janina Gavankar when she was on a live stream. Didn't realize it.
Oh, so it is confirmed. Okay. I wasn't.
I mean, it's the same. It's confirmed as much as like she's walking around at Star Wars convention, And she was streaming it, and she's like, I loved you in the DLC. She's like, oh my God, wait till you see the next one. They're doing some incredible shit. It's like, well, no shit. Everybody knew they were working on Horizon. You assume they are.
Ooh, someone made a good point, or someone's just talking about Assassin's Creed in the chat.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Assassin's Creed.
We haven't seen Assassin's Creed in a while, yeah.
Kuchoko here says, don't forget about PS4 launch titles Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, and Resogun.
Which Black Flag came out a month before, I think, the PS4 and Xbox One, and then immediately...
interesting. Charles J. in You're Wrong says it's possible Arcane is working on PlayStation 5 at the moment, too, given Deathloop systems aren't confirmed. Deathloop's hot.
Deathloop is cool.
Huh.
Lot to be excited about. I think, first party-wise, though, you'd hope Horizon 2, but I don't want to rush them. Take your time over there, Gorilla.
Yeah.
Herman, take your time.
What a good theory sesh.
Yeah, right.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
BJ Bernardo gets the final say on any of this and says, "Hi, y'all. Now that Sony dropped some news on the PlayStation 5, do you think this forces Microsoft to reveal more news about Project Scarlett at XO19 a month from now, or will they stick with the game plan? Was there something you wish was revealed about the PlayStation 5 today that they didn't reveal?" Let's stick with the Microsoft thing.
Yeah.
XO19 is coming up.
Yes.
It is one of those things that I think is an interesting and easy to forget one, because there's not a lot of buzz about it yet.
I totally forgot about it.
As we get closer, I expect there to be more and more.
Yeah.
Like, Xbox will announce things there. Will they announce this? Who knows?
I don't know that they're going to give us much on Scarlett.
I agree. I think, if anything, it'll be maybe a mention. And of course, that's still happening, but I think this is more based on what's happening right now.
I also think that Phil Spencer's doubling down on E3. So I think since Microsoft's been given full run of the show next year, if Sony's not going to be in it, then they're going to go, all right, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to put it all in E3. We're going to blow it out with as much news as we possibly can, and it's going to be our show.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like to me. It seemed like he was doing that last year.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought he took over the show, and it was a good showing. So I feel like he probably will do that again for E3 2020.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that this changes anything for Microsoft. I think both these seasoned competitors in the ring understand that they're going to trade body blows for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything that happened today makes them go, oh shit, we got to get out there. Because again, you hope that at XO19 they're going to be able to say, we launched the xCloud beta last month in October. It's had this many users, this kind of feedback. We're expanding the program to all these different places or devices, hopefully, as I touch my Apple phone. Because I'm very excited and would love to have that. And then, was there something revealed about PlayStation 5 today that I wish or wasn't revealed that I wish they had? Well, of course, I want to see the box. I want to see the controller. I want to have a price. I want to have a date.
But they're going to do that all in
again,
event.
What really happened today is that I woke up, went in the bathroom to brush my teeth, and I looked at Blessing talking about how this confirms Ghost of Tsushima is still a PlayStation 4 game. I'm like, what is he talking about? And I'm like, oh, crap. If they're just going to shadow drop PlayStation 5 news, I can't really get excited to be like, man, why didn't they say this?
Yeah.
Number 2. That's right. 37 minutes in. Number 2 on the Roper Report. Blizzard has suspended a Hearthstone player for Hong Kong support and pulls his prize money. This is Luke Plunkett over at Kotaku. Now, this is the player, Blitz Chung. Full name. I'm going to need help on this, Bruce, because I'm a big idiot. Chung, and then Win Wei.
I think it's Win Wei.
Okay.
That sounds right. I think
from here on, we're going to say Blitz Chung because that's how everybody knows him. A pro Hearthstone player from Hong Kong ended a stream earlier this week with a statement of support for those engaged in months-long protests against local police and government. As a result of this, Blizzard has ruled that he violated competition rules and have handed out a heavy punishment. In the stream, part of the broadcast of the Asia Pacific Grandmasters, Blitz Chung wore a mask, similar to those worn by protesters, and said, "Liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our age." Blizzard, clearly aware of the political repercussions in the Chinese market for such a statement, have determined that Blitz Chung violated a competition rule, which states, 2019 Hearthstone Grandmasters official competition rules, V1.4, page 12, section 6.1, and then an O in parentheses. Greg doesn't understand what that means. Engaging in any act that, in Blizzard's sole discretion, brings you into public disrepute, offends a portion or group of the public, or otherwise damages Blizzard's image, will result in removal from Grandmasters and reduction of the player's prize total to $0 USD, in addition to other remedies which may be provided for under the handbook and Blizzard's website terms. Blitz Chung's punishment is an immediate removal from Grandmasters, a withholding of prize money for his participation, and a ban from taking part in Hearthstone esports, quote, for 12 months, beginning October 5th, 2019, and extending to October 5th, 2020. Blizzard also adds that despite them physically ducking from his comments on air and immediately cutting to a commercial, the company, quote, will also immediately cease working with both casters involved in the airing of Blitzchung's statement.
Because the casters were talking to Blitzchung.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, it's not happening in English, so I don't understand it.
Right.
We'll get to all this on how the levels of bullshit happening here, but that one in particular, we're like literally like you're the live casters. He says something they know is controversial, and literally they put their heads down right, and then cut to commercial, and you're gonna fire them still.
Yeah, that's weird.
Blizzard end their ruling by saying, quote, while we stand by one's right to express individual thoughts and opinions, players and other participants that elect to participate in our esports competitions must abide by the official competition rules, end quote. Now, here's where I want to drop some of Blitzchung's statements in that weren't in the Kotaku article. They have a statement from him after everything happened on the air, but before Blizzard said anything. So that statement reads like this. This is still from Kotaku. As you know, there are serious protests in my country now.
This is from Blitzchung.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I was unclear. My call on stream was just another form of participation of the protest that I wish to grab more attention. I put so much effort in that social movement in the past few months that I sometimes couldn't focus on preparing for my Grandmaster match. I know that my action on stream I know what my action on stream means. It could cause me a lot of trouble, even my personal safety in real life. But I think it's my duty to say something about the issue. Then IGN has this statement from Blitzchung after the fact, after the ruling from Blizzard came down. Chung says he doesn't regret what he said during the stream. Quote, I expect the decision by Blizzard. I think it's unfair, but I do respect their decision. I am not regretful of what I said, end quote. He added, I shouldn't be afraid of these kinds of white terror. When asked what white terror means, Chung clarified, it describes anonymous acts that create a climate of fear. Now, if you're like me, you're very busy and you're doing your job and all these different things. And you've seen the Hong Kong protests and you understand it's about democracy.
Yeah.
But maybe you weren't up to date on exactly what was going on or why. I Googled, of course, found a BBC recap. They had it in 100 words and 500 words, which I appreciated and tried to cobble together into one just to bring everybody up to speed here. Hong Kong's protest started in June against proposals to allow extradition to mainland China. Opponents said this risked exposing Hong Kongers to unfair trials and violent treatment. They also argued the bill would give China greater influence over Hong Kong and could be used to target activists and journalists. A former British colony, Hong Kong has some autonomy and more rights than the mainland under a one-country, two-systems deal. City leader Carrie Lam agreed to suspend the bill, but demonstrations continued and developed to include demands for full democracy and an inquiry into police actions. The bill was finally withdrawn in September. Clashes between police and activists have been becoming increasingly violent, with police using tear gas and activists storming parliament. Hundreds of thousands of people took to the streets after weeks of protest. After weeks of protest, leader Carrie Lam eventually said the bill would be suspended indefinitely. Protesters feared the bill could be revived, so demonstrations continued, calling for it to be completely withdrawn. The bill was finally withdrawn in September. Now, the protesters' demands have changed over the weeks. They include withdrawal of the riot description used about the protests, amnesty for all arrested protesters, an independent inquiry into alleged police brutality, universal suffrage for the elections of the Chief Executive and Legislative Council, Hong Kong's parliament. A bigger issue than we're used to covering on Kind of Funny
This
Games
is a
Daily.
major issue.
So let's dial it back to this stuff.
Yeah.
Blitzchung and his statements on air and Blizzard's reactions. What's your take?
Yeah. So my take is, I think Blitzchung, it sounds like he knew what his consequences were. And he still stood up for what he believed in, which I cannot say enough about. It's one of those things that I admire the most. And he knew that it was going to come down, that Blizzard was going to ban him and all this other bullshit. But he didn't care because he wanted to speak out with the people that he is protesting with. And I cannot say enough about that. I think that's really, really amazing and cool and something that everybody should learn from. And I don't know that Blizzard is in the right here.
Yeah.
Even though those were the rules.
Yeah.
And I understand where Blizzard's coming from. I know that those are the rules. And I'm sure someone's up there being like, those are the rules. But also, Blizzard is a capitalist company that operates in a democracy.
Yeah.
So I don't. That one I'm not sure about.
Yeah, I think there's two sides of the coin. The number one side is I think it's complete bullshit. I think that even using the language here, right, that brings you into public disrepute, right? I have never heard of Blitzchung until today, right? I have nothing but the utmost respect for him. Yeah. It's Blizzard who is now in disrepute with me, right? Who has offended a portion of the group or the public, or otherwise damages Blizzard's image. Blizzard's image is, for me, damaged because of this. Now, granted, that's me talking. Yeah. I understand, like you're saying, those are the rules. Clearly, there's people who I'm sure offends a portion or group of the public.
Which it does.
Who watch this who are like, fuck this guy. This isn't, Hong Kong. The protesters are in the wrong in Hong Kong. It's not this. Yeah.
I'm sure it offended someone.
It cuts both ways. I get that. Yeah. It's the idea here, though, of like, there has to be exceptions to the rule. Were there calls for this? I get slippery slopes. I understand that if Blizzard does nothing here, that opens the gate that then okay, cool.
Anybody else can do whatever.
When I come out and, and I'm pointing at myself, but when some other streamer comes out, right, and says something in support of a KKK or something equally as horrible, right? Then it's like, whoa, wait, no, you're fucking banned. Your money's taken away. And he's going to point to this and sue them and be like, well, you didn't take down Blitzchung when he supported I understand what they're saying, and I understand capitalism and being a company and needing a black and white and a cut and dry. Yeah. This is a shitty fucking situation. This is a shitty way to handle this. Exactly what you're saying. Wow. Fucking shout out to Blitzchung, who understands that, hey, yeah, this is going to fuck up. And that's the thing, fuck up my prize pool, my job. Yeah, more importantly, the fact that he's from Hong Kong, right? Yeah. That he's like, yeah, this could jeopardize my life in this. Like, more power to him for speaking out and doing this. And yeah, I think it's a really, really shitty way for Blizzard to handle this.
It does not look good on Blizzard, especially because Blizzard's obviously taking, some Chinese investors
of course.
And all that other stuff. So the slippery slope, I understand, and I hear this. I'm trying to think of a way around this for Blizzard. Like, I'm actually trying to think of a way for them to punish him, but also not make it look like they're the worst company in the world.
And I don't have this in kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. Feel free to please chime in on this, on the you're wrong part of what I'm about to say. Somebody had put in, I think on Twitter I saw, of like, his ban of like a year is so much more severe than like if you use racial slurs. And I don't have that confirmed. I'm not paying attention to esports, as many of you know, but that was like, I want to say cited like 7 games or maybe 7 months, but it's still not a year like this is.
See, to me, this would have been, maybe then they could have just gone, you know what? We'll take away your prize. You're not banned, but we'll take away your prize. Don't do it again.
Right, and
they could have been not so severe, I think, because this seems very severe. Just even reading it and not having any context.
Yeah,
being like, you're banned for a year, like you take away all your prize, like
you're out of the Grandmaster.
You're out of it. Yeah, you're good. You're done. They could have also just slapped him on the wrist and been like, don't do that again. Like, don't ever do that again. We're going to release a statement saying you can't ever do that again, or else you're banned from everything forever.
Yeah.
And then not done anything to him.
It's just such a weird thing of how to do this and how to balance it, right? It's that, for me, and again, I'm speaking out of turn here, not being up on Hearthstone esports or whatever, right? I think, it's easy to somehow compare this to protests in the NFL, like Kaepernick, or right?
Yeah.
Even though he's been blackballed, and that's not fair either.
No.
But like, in terms of, like you're saying a slap on the wrist, right? Where there would be thousands of dollars is the fine, right?
Right.
And like to the fucking star quarterback of a team, who cares? For a Hearthstone player, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how much he's bringing down. I don't know if he's making fatality money. My one reference to esports ever. Yeah, you know what I mean?
20 years ago.
But it's just like, come on.
Yeah, this doesn't look good on Blizzard.
I'm with you that there had to be
a less severe consequence for this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, and not to mention, again, like, the guy is supporting democracy where Blizzard originated. Where Blizzard started.
Alex Rust is in kindoffunny.com/you're wrong, giving me that information I wanted. XQC was banned for using racial remarks / hate speech for 7 games. Another player from Korea was banned for a month for using hate speech.
So this is an entire year. This Blitzchung ban was an entire year. Obviously, I support democracy and capitalism and believe in it to the utmost. And the Hong Kong protests, I've been very kind of like loosely following for months.
Yeah.
And to me, it actually it kind of makes me like my heart swell with pride to see these people so upset at their country and their city.
Well, the bravery, right, to stand up and do this, right?
And to stand up in the middle of a communist country.
Yeah.
That's something that to me is like, fuck yeah, dude. I love that. I wish that I could help them more. It's kind of one of those things like, man, I wish I could get in there and help them more. So this to me was a bummer. This was a real bummer.
Totally. So we'll keep an eye on it as it develops because I think there's been enough, I'd like to think, public outcry that Blizzard has to give a statement on like what they're doing here and why they're treating it one way and not the other.
Yeah.
Number 3 on the Roper Report, 50 minutes in. Doom Eternal's been delayed. This is a letter from it. We say give him time, Barrett.
No,
we say
I
give him
know,
time.
I know.
We should give them time.
id Software gave this statement. Throughout the development of Doom Eternal, our goal has been to deliver a game that exceeds your greatest expectations across the board. To make sure we're delivering the best experience for Doom Eternal to live up to our standards of speed and polish, we've made the decision to extend our launch date by a few months to March 20th, 2020. We know many fans will be disappointed by this delay, but we are confident that Doom Eternal will deliver a gaming experience that is worth the wait. In addition to shifting the Doom Eternal launch date, we've made a couple of other changes we wanted you to know about. Invasion Mode, which will allow you to enter another player's game as a playable demon, will release as a free update shortly after launch. Doom Eternal for Nintendo Switch will release after the other platforms. We will announce that date in the future. Doom 64 will be available on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC in addition to Nintendo Switch. We are adding Doom 64 as a pre-order bonus for Doom Eternal on all platforms, so you'll be able to download and play this classic game for free just for pre-ordering Doom Eternal. Doom 64 will be released on March 20th, 2020 on all platforms. We are grateful to every Doom fan for your dedication and support. We can't wait to rip and tear right alongside you.
Yeah, hell yeah.
id Software. Heartbreaker, yeah. But I mean, like,
It's fine.
Just take your time.
Take
do
your time.
thing.
Yeah.
And also, like, Bethesda needs to win right now.
Yeah.
Like, in the last year, the major games that Bethesda has published is Fallout 76, The Elder Scrolls Blades, Rage 2, and Wolfenstein Youngblood and Wolfenstein Cyberpilot. Like, this is a smart decision. Make the game that you need to make, and
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, we're already all confident.
It's gonna
in
be good.
Doom Eternal. So,
Yeah.
like, make the great game that you need to make. Like, my big question this morning was just like, all right, so what's gonna be Game of the Year 2019?
100%. When this dropped, like, I was like, man, I don't mean to. I love video games. I've had a lot of great times with video games.
Yeah, and I don't
year.
mean to undercut the quality of the games coming out.
I just feel like 2019 has been such a weird, soft year for games.
Have you guys played Outer Worlds yet?
No, but it's coming.
I
know.
can't wait.
Nah,
Can't
like,
wait. I played it at
I
events.
haven't played it yet either.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. A fucking Obsidian RPG. Fuck yeah. I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, like, that's on the list still. Fallen Order's on the list. Modern Warfare for whatever's happening.
COD, yeah. I mean, COD looks great.
Yeah, like there's a bunch of stuff still to come, but it's just like it's so hard to compare it to last year, where it was like
That's true.
it was
Red
God of
Dead,
War is everybody's
God of
game of
War.
the year, but Red Dead's coming. What's gonna happen? What about Spider-Man? What about? And it was like all these different games where it was like you had a legitimate argument 6 ways. Whereas this year, I do feel like it's like Sekiro, Resident Evil 2, Control. Like there's all these different games in the conversation, but I don't see people being like, this is clearly the front runner.
Yeah.
For me,
And,
it's like Apex. I say Apex
Yeah.
for me, but I know it's not the game of the year. So
like building up to this, like I don't really have a lot of games that I think of as game of the year, so I was really looking forward to Doom. So yeah, this morning I was like, all right, well, I'll probably enjoy Jedi Fallen Order, but we'll be
Outer Worlds, boys.
Yeah, Outer Worlds, and then Outer Wilds is also coming.
Outer Wilds people did really
Well, it was a good game.
Yeah, and
It was
it's
a good
coming
game.
to PS4.
Don't skip to the head on the show, motherfucker. All right,
You know
fucking
what?
push the buttons and make the cameras
All right,
go.
you
That's
know
your
what?
job.
We're 52 minutes into the
Number
show.
4.
Just skip right ahead.
Call of Duty Mobile is a huge deal. This is Neha Malara over at Reuters. The mobile version of video game franchise Call of Duty racked up 100 million downloads in its first week.
That is insane.
Industry site Sensor Tower said on Tuesday, dwarfing the debuts of previous smashes, including Fortnite and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. PUBG, Fortnite, and Electronic Arts' Apex Legends scored 26.3 million, 22.5 million, and 25 million respectively in their first week of release. Quote, this is by far the largest mobile game launch in history. In terms of the player base, that's been built for the first week. Said Randy Nelson, head of mobile insights at Sensor Tower. Call of Duty Mobile was launched by its publisher, Activision Blizzard, Incorporated on October 1st, and Sensor Tower said the numbers reflected worldwide unique downloads across Apple's App Store and Google Play in the period since.
Congratulations to them.
Right?
That's a big deal.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100 million downloads. That is insane.
That was a big
right?
deal for them.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with that team actually.
Are you going to play that? You like Call of Duty a lot. Do you play mobile games?
I do like Call of Duty. I was gonna avoid it entirely because I was like, oh, I could never play Call of Duty Mobile. But now that 100 million people have downloaded this game, and actually I've heard people say, hey, it's not bad. I'm gonna give it a shot.
It's not bad.
I mean, like, it's
what a
weird.
ringing endorsement. Yeah.
Well, because you would never expect Call of Duty to be good on a mobile phone.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I'm ready to give it a shot.
Okay, good. Go get them.
Let's do it.
Bruce, I'm excited to see you give Call of Duty a shot, but there's so many other games you could give a shot to. If I wanted to know what those games were and they came out today and they went to the mom and grop shops, digital and retail, where would I go?
You would go to the official list of upcoming software across each and every platform as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every weekday.
Yeah. Out today, it's a big one, everybody.
Wow, there's a lot.
Ukulele and the Impossible Layer on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
You want me to?
Okay, sure.
The Alliance Alive HD remaster on PS4, Switch, and PC.
John Wick Hex on PC and Mac.
Call of Cthulhu on the Switch.
Asphalt 9 Legends on Switch.
Indivisible on PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Trine 4 The Nightmare Prince on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
Trine the Ultimate Collection, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
A Winter's Daydream, Xbox One and Switch.
Burger Time Party, Switch.
Atlas, Xbox One.
Concrete Genie, PS4.
Woo-hoo. Like that one a lot. The Bradwell Conspiracy, PlayStation 4 and PC.
Worse Than Death, Switch and PC.
Dodge Hard on Switch.
Aldred, Knight of Honor, Switch.
Reventure on Switch.
Interfectorum on the PS4.
Chikara? Chikara Action Wrestling on PC.
Love Esquire, RPG dating sim visual novel on PC and Mac.
Jaws of Oblivion, taking players to Mihura's Dragon's Dederic Plane of Oblivion in Elder Scrolls Legends, is available now for PC and Android devices, with iOS to follow soon after. With 75 plus brand new cards inspired by Bethesda Game Studios' beloved The Elder Scrolls 5.
4.
Oblivion. Damn it.
Yeah.
You ever do that? You get to there, I'm like, oh God, oh God, oh God.
Yeah,
Jaws of Oblivion pulls devastating Daedra through the fiery gates of Oblivion and onto the playmat.
Trover Saves the Universe. Important Cosmic Jobs DLC launches today.
And here's one of my favorite ones I got in the, here we go. Debaucheries DLC turns up the heat in Conan Exiles. Oh, yes. Things are about to get steamy in the exiled lands.
They already were.
The Debaucheries of Decado DLC offers a host of new items and emotes with lust and overindulgence as common denominators.
Wow.
Build a luxurious pleasure house in the treetops connected to a bustling tavern by a rope bridge. Decorate your home with an exquisitely crafted chess set, scarlet curtains and wine racks, and prepare yourself for battle with the new and intimidating Dark Templar armor set. The Debaucheries of Decado DLC lets you cast your prudence aside and give in to your darkest and innermost desires. PC, Xbox One, and PS4.
I know like one person who's probably really, really excited.
Who's that?
For Brandon from the OK Beast podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know he's a perv.
Conan Exiles.
He loves Conan.
That's a ridiculous game.
Oh, yeah.
One more there on the back for you.
Outer
No,
Wild.
Yeah, that's upside. Actually, new dates.
Oh, Outer Wilds comes to the PS4 on October 15th.
Calm down, Barrett, over there. You know
next
what I mean?
Tuesday.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm
Next
excited.
Tuesday.
Andy was talking it up when it originally came
Good
out.
game.
and
A
I
lot
was
of
like,
people are. A lot of people say.
Real
Yeah,
good
I
game.
was like, oh, can I play it? He's like, yeah, on Xbox. I was like, I don't own one of those, so I'm excited to finally play it.
Next Tuesday, buddy.
Yeah.
Deals of the day for you. There's a big old PlayStation VR sale on the PlayStation Store in honor of the device's 3rd birthday. So enjoy that, everybody.
All right.
I was gonna say now it's time for reader mail, but now it's time to end the show. So we're gonna do now. It's time for Squad Up because we've gone forever and ever and ever on this show.
Yeah.
And it was a great show, everybody. Good job, everybody. Proud of you all over here. But first, I'm gonna tell you about the sponsors who made this show possible. Bruce,
Yes.
it's time to Squad Up.
All right.
This is where we ask somebody in the community to write in to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. Give us their name, username, platform of choice, and why they need help in a game. I read here, the best friends come and find you. Everybody plays games together. Today, Michaela needs help on PlayStation 4. Michaela's username is geekreate. It's like geek create.
geekreate. But it's
Geekreate.
with a K.
What a bad PSN. Woof, man. You can change them for free now. GeeKreate.
I don't know. It might be something.
Why not double the Ks? Why not be Geek Create?
Well, that's then.
It said your G Create?
Why not just do geek and then create with a C?
Oof, man. I'll tell you what, Michaela. Oof. Good morning to everyone. I have a bit of an issue. I'm a big kid, so I have a big kid job. 40 hours a week, 4 nights a week. Yes, 4 nights. I work overnight IT and on the weekends too. My free time is usually Sunday through Tuesday nights from about 8 p.m. to 12 noon Central. As such, most people I know are on normal weekday schedules, so I end up alone most nights struggling to stay awake so I don't mess up my sleep schedule. I'm looking for a KFBF who is available at all sorts of times, whether in my time zone or a different one. For any best friends more comfortable in other languages, I speak English, obviously, German, I'm rusty, so it'll be a bit broken, and toddler-level Spanish. Lately, I've been playing Red Dead Online, Overwatch, Overcooked 2, and Borderlands 3, but I am flexible regarding games.
Somebody help out Michaela.
There you go.
Somebody-
At G Create. Geek.
No, it's geek.
R-E-A.
Geek and then
That's
reate.
not what it is. And
Geek
it's one of those,
reate.
I'll have you know, I deleted the way she, when at the end,
Geekreate.
Michaela's like, this is how you say it. And I'm like, oh, no. If I see that, I delete it. Because guess what? You don't get to. I don't get to show you the word Greg and then say, well,
That's
it's
true.
pronounced giraffe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no, like I'm pronouncing the words as they pop up.
You're saying
A monster,
shaming
I know.
geekreate because unwarranted.
Somebody help out Michaela, is all we're saying.
Yes.
Somebody help out Michaela. Play a game with Michaela.
It's time for You're Wrong. This is where people watching live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. Right in to kindafunny.com/you're wrong.
I'm really worried about this one right
Oh
now.
no, it's all good. We did fine. You can tell
thank
what
God.
we screwed up as we screwed it up.
All right.
Ignacio Rojas says, the PlayStation 4, we talked about how PlayStation 5 wants to tell you more about what's happening on the screen. He has this. PlayStation 4 already does give plenty of information about your friends' games. For example, for Borderlands, it shows you their character level. Fortnite tells you how many people are left in the game. And some games say in what area the person is. Again, Ignacio, we're just talking about what Cerny's talking
Yeah,
about.
Cerny was one that gave
He's
us
going to
those
have it
details.
without jumping into it, right? Ignacio also says Metal Gear was first released on the MSX2 computer. But as you know, I don't acknowledge that. NES for life. That's a funny one. Somebody's trying to be a funny person over here. Funny people doing funny stuff.
Oh, we got a funny guy.
We got a funny guy.
Lord of Pwn says Infamous was never slated as a launch title. It was revealed as a launch window title. Need for Speed also had a launch title on PS4. Final Boss Fight says, wasn't Destiny a huge part of PlayStation 4's launch window? So what about some version of Destiny? Was it? Did Destiny release cross-platform, I thought?
Yes, it did. It was It was definitely also on PS3.
But it wasn't a launch game for PlayStation 4, was it? Barrett, give me a
I'm-
search on that while we keep going.
It's September 9th, 2014. So
No.
So
what
no,
was-
not a launch.
No,
Not
that was a
launch
year
game.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're out of here. You've been thrown away. No, you see, like, okay, Charles J says a possible PS5 launch game idea. That's not a you're wrong. That's not what I'm looking for here. That's not how that helps.
I
me.
was really worried that somebody was going to come up and say, you're wrong, don't support the protests in Hong Kong. That's what I was really worried about.
Oh, yeah. Well. Oh, interesting. And then breaking news Zaire has here from GamesIndustry.biz. A man broke into Valve, stole $40,000 of equipment in games.
Jesus.
We'll talk about that tomorrow, I'm sure.
Half-Life 3 stolen.
Because it was the only copy we had. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show, patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. You can watch the show live, twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. Later, youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, roosterteeth.com, podcast services around the globe. No matter where you watch it, thank you for your support. Maybe you want to go over to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. Bruce Greene, they can keep up with you where?
Twitch.tv/Bruce Green.
Oh, wow.
It's that simple.
How often do you stream?
I stream basically every day at this point.
wow.
Yeah, like 4 to 6 hours a day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks again for spending so much time with us. It's not over yet, ladies and gentlemen.
it's
He's
not.
got it. You got to do the Kind of Funny pay-per-view
I
here in a
know, I
second,
know.
but you won't see that for a few weeks. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, it's been our pleasure to serve you.